Hi there, welcome to this week's Ask Amy. Today I'm going to address a question that we hear all the time is how do I deal with the question, what will my insurance cover? We hear that several times a day. You hear it over the phone, you hear it in hygiene, you hear it in the case acceptance process. And what I'd like to share with you first of all is we've got to realize that really when patients are asking about insurance, all it is a money objection. They're just trying to figure out how can I have the dentistry that I want in your office. So, the first thing is let's make sure that we're not jumping the gun and automatically formulating a negative impression of that patient and assuming that they're not going to want to do the dentistry unless their insurance covers it all. That's the first thing, is show some enthusiasm and make sure that they know that you're thrilled that they're trying to figure this out. So if a patient says, hey, what will my insurance cover? Hey, great question. We have a lot of patients and work with a lot of different insurance companies. And, I'm just thrilled that, you're here and you're trying to get this worked out. I can promise you we're going to maximize your plan. Okay, so the gist of it is just realize it's not some mysterious thing that we tiptoe around. It is what it is. Insurance is here, at least for the time being. And so we just deal with it. But let me tell you, we want to make sure we have a good balance. Okay, we've worked with practices that are completely insurance free, and we've worked with practices who take complete ownership of the patient's insurance for them, and all in between. I feel like we need to have a good balance. Okay, are there still insurance free practices operating? Absolutely, and they're doing very, very well because they figured out how to do that. They figured out how to diagnose beyond the scope of insurance, and they also understand that insurance is not a bad word. They still help patients maximize that, but they don't let it run their practice. But I also understand many of you are inundated in PPOs, and that's something that is just part of your reality. And so I, also think there's a healthy balance in sort of shifting the ownership back where it belongs to the patient, but still being their advocate. You're still there on their side helping them. See, what's happened is we have become an unpaid employee of the insurance company in many cases. And you have the patient over here and you and the insurance company are over here across the table from them. And so what we want to do is shift that. And let's get over on the side of the patient on side of the table with the patient. We are on their side. We are their helper, their advisor, their advocate, and the insurance is still over here. Okay, so what we've done in the past is we've allowed the insurance companies to become a wedge in our relationship with the patient, and we're going to take that out. It doesn't mean that you are no longer in the insurance business or anything of that nature, and that is not what we're going to communicate to the patient. It just means that you're going to shift the ownership and you are going to begin to treat the patient, not the disease, and not what insurance will cover. Okay, and so we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that. Again, you are on their side. Okay, and so the first thing that I propose that you do is just stop bringing up insurance. Don't ask them on the phone. Take it off your darn health history form. I mean, just copy their card. They fill that out wrong anyway. When they come in the practice, don't ask them, do you have insurance or anything of that nature? Because what we're doing is sending the message that we operate around insurance and that insurance determines what we will do and what kind of treatments you will have. No, that's not how this works. The patient determines that. So we're going to take the insurance and we're going to set it over to the side. So when a patient says, I have insurance, fantastic. That is wonderful. Do you know what your maximum is? Again, give them ownership. You may even know this information, but don't be the all-knowing unpaid employee of the insurance company. And if they know, great. If they don't, say, most patients have around $1,000, some more. And that's wonderful because that's $1,000 you don't have to worry about. It's kind of like a rebate or a supplement. Okay. So we don't want to badmouth insurance. We want to, again, congratulate them for having it. That's wonderful. That's a little bit you're not going to have to worry about. So let's move on. Put the insurance over here. Now tell me what you want to accomplish. Make sure that we are not diagnosing or not formulating a treatment plan that is built around insurance. It's built around the patient and what the patient wants to accomplish. So if they feel that and they understand that, then when you get to the very end and you propose the plan that they've asked for, and they say something like, well, what will my insurance cover? You can then say, well, that really depends. It depends on the plan that your employer chose and what those limitations might be, but I can promise you that I'm going to maximize whatever you have coming to you. Now, let's say insurance doesn't cover any of this. Is this still the kind of treatment that you'd like to have? Okay, sometimes we just have to face the pink elephant head on and say, you know what? Yeah, insurance may or may not cover this, but it sounds like this is still something you'd like to accomplish. What if we could make this work for you financially? Is that something you'd like our help with? Okay, again, insurance is just a money objection. And so it is what it is. You know, when a patient brings up insurance, it doesn't mean they don't want to move forward with treatment or that they're not going to do it. Unless, of course, you have taken ownership for their treatment from this point. And you have told them what they need, and it's all based on your perspective. So the reason a lot of us feel trapped and tied up in insurance is because of that very thing. See, we haven't really involved the patient in the process. We've just simply looked in their mouth, diagnosed a plan, and presented it to them. So it's all our idea. And so they're looking for their insurance. Well, gee, if my insurance pays for it, sure, I'll do it. But if they don't pay for it, do I really need it? Because, gosh, you know, it's not hurting. And then you begin to hear those things. And so if from the get-go we have formulated a plan that's based on the objectives that the patient wants to reach, and we've taken time to ask questions to find out what those are, ask their permission to help, and then formulate a plan based on that, you will have much more success. And quite frankly, you'll have less patients getting caught up in and asking, what will my insurance cover? Okay, so here's how we actually answer that. You know, again, stop talking about it, focus on the patient, not the disease, and not formulating a plan around insurance. Don't badmouth their insurance, okay? But you're still going to have patients that ask, so what, bottom line, what's my insurance going to cover? Well, it really depends on the dynamics of your plan. Now, this would be on some large case, and you could say, do you know what your maximum is? Well, I guess it's around $1,000, or that's what I understand. And again, fantastic. It sounds like you're interested in maximizing whatever's available to you, and I can promise you we're going to do that. Now, let's talk about the rest. How can we make that easy for you? Okay. Now, if it's a smaller treatment plan, maybe it's single unit crown, you can again say it really depends on the plan your employer's chosen. A lot of patients have, experienced that their insurance may cover anywhere from nothing, maybe up to around 40% or so of this type of treatment. And so that's good news. You've got a little bit of help. How can we make the rest easy for you? Okay, and so don't get hung up. Now, you're going to have some patients say, can I do some now and some next year? Or can I do one a year? All right. And so, again, the response to that is absolutely. You get to go at whatever pace you'd like. Most patients like to save time and just go ahead and get it knocked out. Tell me what benefit you see in spreading this out. Maybe we can help. Okay. And we all know their response is likely going to be, well, insurance will only pay for one a year. Okay. And in that case, say, oh, okay, well, sounds like you want to save some money. We can do that for you. What if we were able to avoid bigger things from happening and, prevent additional treatment down the road? Would that be helpful? And, this plan that you've chosen represents the majority of the dentistry you're going to need for a really long time. And, by squaring it away now, you're going to save some time. You're going to save any potential emergencies and probably save some money as well. How can we make this easy for you? Okay, I think that's a key question is how can we make it easy? That draws out other objections. Again, we've got to remember patients bringing up insurance only means they're trying to figure out how to have dentistry in your office. So don't make assumptions, don't jump to conclusions, and just ask a lot of questions and make sure the ownership stays where it needs to be. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.